And moving on to the big exclusive, viewers, on Sunday, October 23rd, a blast took place in Coimbatore in which a 25-year-old named Jamisha Mubeen was killed. Now, the blast took place just 50 meters from the Kotta Eswaran temple at Koimbatore, and the BJP has been since then cornering the Stalin government over the apparent hesitance on the part of the state government to call out the incident as a terror attack. Times now has accessed 4 clinching proofs which will debunk the state's theory of cylinder blast. Now remember, that has been the BJP's charge all throughout, and quickly putting out those CCTV visuals for you. The first CCTV footage, viewers, hours before the blast, you can see how the 4 men, namely Mubeen, Riaz, Nawaz and Feroz, as has been confirmed by the police, can be seen carrying the cylinder to Mubeen's car. So that's the first CCTV footage that Times now accessed with regards to this big story update coming in. And in the second CCTV footage, clearly shifting your focus, viewers, to how you can see Mubeen's car passing a narrow lane. That's the second CCTV visual we're talking about. You can see that blinking image coming in, and you can see Mubeen's car, the Maruti Suzuki car that we're talking about, that crossing this by lane, and this is minutes after they loaded those cylinders into the car. And the third CCTV footage that is on your screens now, this is from around 4 a.m. in the morning on the 23rd October when this blast took place. Mubeen's car explodes just 50 meters away from the Eswaran temple. That's the visual of the explosion right there for you. This is just 50 meters away from the temple. That's exactly when the police suspected that there's more to this very development, this very blast that took place very, very close to the temple in the near proximity. And in the last visual that we just put out for you, that's the visual there. You can see the intensity of the blast as well, how the car blew up in pieces. So that's the car crossing one of the by lanes, and the explosion impact that you just witnessed was on your screens. That's the explosion impact, the car blown up into pieces. In fact, so much so that Mubeen's body was barely recognizable. So that's the impact of the blast that we're talking about. But let's tell you, in the meanwhile, while the BJP is calling this a terror attack, Mubeen, remember, was an engineering graduate who was quizzed by the NIA in 2019 over the alleged links with ISIS. Now, Mubeen was following a terror group, National Tawauja Jamaat's ideologue Zahran Hashim, on social media. We'll tell you why this man is important. He was in touch with him and his aides. Hashim was one of the suicide bombers who was responsible for the serial bomb blast in Sri Lanka's Colombo, which goes back to 2019, in which as many as 300 people lost their lives. The cops also recovered low-intensive explosive material from Mubeen's house, material that is used in making primitive bombs. That's right. Now, the Coimbatore cops have arrested 5 accused on which UAPA has now been invoked. They've been slapped with certain sections of UAPA. Listen into what the police had to say.
இந்த 3 பேர், அதாவது ரியாஸ், நவாஸ் அண்ட் ஃபெரோஸ், இந்த 3 நபர்கள் முபீனுடைய வீட்டிலிருந்து இந்த எக்ஸ்ப்ளோசிவ் மெட்டீரியல்ஸ், சிலிண்டர் இதெல்லாம் வந்து ஏற்றுறதுக்கு வந்து துணை புரிஞ்சிருக்கிறாங்க. பொட்டாசியம் நைட்ரேட், அதே போல் இந்த சார்கோல் இருந்திருக்குது, அலுமினியம் பவுடர், சல்ஃபர், இது போன்ற பொருட்கள் இருந்திருக்குது. இது சம்பந்தமாக வந்து நம்ம எல்லாம் சீஸ் பண்ணி கோர்ட்டுக்கு ஏற்கனவே ரிப்போர்ட் சப்மிட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறோம்.
BJP has termed it a terror attack. State BJP chief K. Annamalai has hit out at the DMK government and has dared the Stalin Sarkar to come out in open. He says that Tamil Nadu government is hiding information, and this is an apparent failure of the state intelligence machinery, and all in all, the government has to be blamed for this.
It's a clear-cut intelligence failure. It is not one person who did it. He got a car from somewhere, he sourced explosives from somewhere. After BJP's pressure from yesterday to our senior leaders in the press, they have picked up 5 more people today. But very curiously, the Tamil Nadu police FIR doesn't disclose the sections. The press meet, they only mentioned cylinder bomb blast. We have picked up 5 more, and they have to book them under UAPA case and transfer that case to NIA. When the next blast happens, when somebody dies, will Tamil Nadu police take responsibility and say, no, we tried to underplay the previous thing, we are sorry? So this chief minister doesn't focus anything on internal security. For him, any radicalization, chief minister doesn't care.
Let me go across to Prapanch joining us live. Well, Prapanch is in Coimbatore, the only channel that has accessed these clinching visuals, proof to what really happened on the 23rd of October. Prapanch, put this in perspective for us. If we, join the dots of what we make of these 4 CCTV footages, what is it that we understand?
Now, with regard to this explosion, this happened on 23rd of October, just a day before Diwali, and in fact this happened at around 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m. This particular explosion had happened. Initially it was reported as a cylinder gasket had exploded in a car is what initially it was suspected. However, later on, as the day developed, it was found that several marbles and nails, iron nails were found, which is usually not found in the cars. And also subsequently you could see that Mubeen's house, a special team went and searched Mubeen's house, and there they found explosive, low intensity explosive materials. So as the day developed, in fact the became even more murkier, and even they had, in fact, today Coimbatore City Police Commissioner Mr. Balakrishnan had said that nearly 75 kilograms of potassium nitrate, aluminium powder, charcoal were found in that particular Mubeen's house. And in fact Nawaz, Riaz and other person had in fact helped Mubeen to carry the explosive material to the car, is what Mr. Balakrishnan said in the press meet. So we could say that this particular car, we also saw that CCTV visual wherein this car moves through narrow lanes and further it stops at a point. Now earlier DGP had mentioned that there was a police checkpost in that particular area where one sub-inspector and 2 constables were at duty, and maybe because of that these people they tried to escape and the explosion had triggered. Now where they were going, what was their intention is all in fact being investigated right now. But however, 5 persons had been arrested in this regard, and 120B, 153A and UAPA has been slapped on all these 5 persons, and further the investigations are on what was their intent, and in fact several explosive materials have also been found. And so we could see that the police is further continuing with the investigation and going deep into finding out what was the intention behind this particular incident.
Okay, given the background of Mubeen, there are serious questions that come to light. And let's open this up with our guest joining us this evening. We have SG Suryah, Secretary BJP Tamil Nadu. We have JVC Sriram, who's a cephalogist with us. Also with us is C Rajashekharan, a lawyer. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining Times Now this evening. My first question goes to you, Mr. Rajashekharan, because, there is an allegation coming in for the DMK government of constant denial of how this could be a terror act, a suspected terror act, despite all of this proof that Times Now puts out for its viewers and for you to see what went on ahead of the October 23 blast. The UAPA, certain sections of UAPA have also now been slapped against the accused who are currently held by the police. Why that denial now? Is the state government still going to hide the fact that this could be a terror-related case?
The Tamil Nadu police must be lauded for acting immediately and arresting 5 people. And today UAPA has been slapped against all the 4 who have survived and who have been arrested. So we cannot insinuate the police investigation and say this could have been done, that could have been done. It's a most unfortunate and not acceptable incident. This blast has to be investigated. Now it's in the hands of the NIA, and the case will by default it will be transferred to NIA. And I don't want to jump the gun and say that somebody has committed a wrong by not doing it immediately or within 24 hours or 48 hours.
But Mr. Rajashekharan, would you deny an attempt was being made by representatives of the state government to brush this aside as a cylinder blast that took place in an ordinary car?
No, see, it's too early to jump the gun. It is not fair to attack the investigating...
Tamil Nadu State Police that has now invoked certain sections of UAPA. UAPA is the anti-terror law in our country. We all know that.
Yes. But before investigating the matter, you cannot expect the police to come out with a statement or the sections when the investigation is on. That is how the police throughout the country, throughout the globe, it works like that. They have got a system in place. The police investigation is done on serious investigation. You cannot.
Okay.
According to the whims and fancies of media panelists and TV studios, the police cannot investigate a case. They have immediately invoked the UAPA and they have arrested few people and the investigation is on. Wait, because
And
it's
Mr.
too early to jump the
Rajashekharan,
gun
yet
again
you're
and
not
read it.
calling this out as a suspected terror plot, a terror act in black and white, and that's exactly where the BJP's questioning is coming in. So let me take it up with the BJP. SG Suryah, what would you say, given the background of Mubeen, given the CCTV visuals that we've accessed, what do you make so far of the case, and what are the allegations of the BJP against the Stalin government?
See, whatever development that has happened today, it's only after the intervention of Mr. Annamalai through his press meet today. Let us be very clear about that. Until that moment, there was no information, everything was hidden, there was absolute lack of transparency. It was Mr. Annamalai who revealed that, dangerous explosives were confiscated from the terrorist house, and also he has revealed that the WhatsApp status of this terrorist was, very suspicious and etc. Only after Mr. Annamalai's press statement, the Commissioner of Police from Coimbatore comes out and says that the UAPA section has been registered. Our question is, was it after Annamalai's insistence this UAPA section has been registered? If not, why didn't they reveal the information earlier? Secondly, the release by the Tamil Nadu police is very, very vague, and it does not prescribe the crimes committed or the sections under which it is booked. It is again after Mr. Annamalai's insistence and pursual that the sections have been revealed now. As Mr. Annamalai says, we believe and we totally believe that this is an absolute failure of state intelligence. The failure is because of the politicization of the state intelligence. Like Mr. Annamalai has revealed, the state intelligence is communalized and also is being misused for the ruling party to promote their scions within the party rather than doing the intelligence job that they are supposed to do. So there are so many things that the state government has to answer. Even today, they have not made a clear statement that it is a terror attack. This is a terror attack because there are explosives found in the car.
So you are saying it is upon the pressure that was mounted by the BJP that the state police was forced to act, and yet no clear admission coming in from the state government, representatives of the state government. Mr. Sriram, what would you say? Because isn't there enough evidence to really jump the gun in this very case, or at least raise questions on the character of the man, who lost his life, Mubeen, because he is the same person who was examined by the NI in 2019. He was one among the 5 people that the NI had examined in 2019, since he had been attending Bayan classes at a Coimbatore mosque of Tamil Nadu. The Tawhid Jamaat, these classes were closely related to Muhammad Asruddin, who had direct contact with Zarhan Hashim. Now, Zarhan Hashim is very important here because he's the mastermind and the leader of the suicide bombers in the Easter Sunday blast in Sri Lanka. Despite all of these proofs out for the police to investigate the case, do you think they were not quite speedy enough to act?
17 hours of deafening silence, madam. What do you say? Because this incident has occurred by 4 a.m. in the morning. And then you see that DGP is coming out, and there are some television clippings which goes around. And in fact, first thing which you saw was on Twitter, some of them putting it across. Absolute deafening silence where, as Mr. Suryah mentioned, Mr. Annamalai came out and every one of us started tweeting, why is this deafening silence? And what it is, you don't have these things to play around, right? 50 kg of potassium, ammonium nitrate, potassium, sodium, fuse wires were seized on the deceased. And let me also say exactly what the deceased WhatsApp status was. If the news about my death reaches you, forgive my mistakes, hide my shortcoming, participate in my jalsa, and pray for me. And now, you don't call it as a terrorist attack, you call it as a normal cylinder blast. Let's understand one. Rewind back to 2004 and 2014. What did UPA do? They lived in a life of denial.
No, Mr. Sriram, the justification that appears to come in from that side is that nobody wanted to jump the gun simply because in 2019, Mubeen was only questioned with regards to his attending these prayer meets and nothing more. So why jump the gun and label him a terrorist?
The point here is that fortunately for the whatever is said and done, Tamil Nadu people did not had to go through what we went through in 1998. You must be knowing about what happened in 1998. Now, in act of terror, you need to act swiftly. You can't live in a denial. You can't expect it is only because of the opposition party, the BJP, and even some of the AIADMK leaders who started putting pressure yesterday. That is when they started acting. Otherwise, why was there a deafening silence? I think the police department of Tamil Nadu, which is very good, extremely swift in operating things, they're only second to Scotland Yard. Now, unless otherwise there was a political pressure, they would not have been silent. They would have said, yes, we are looking at all the options, we are exploring. They will reveal things. You can't hide.
Okay.
You can't try to, because the intention, the question mark here is not against what the police did or what the police did not do. What was the intent behind being silent for over 20 hours?
So what was the intent? Let's quickly go across to Mr. Rajashekharan once again. Mr. Rajashekharan, what was the intent? Why the deafening silence? Because, we talk about the man Azharuddin, who is in question here. We know that he was the accused with regards to the Sri Lanka serial blast case. He was questioned multiple times because he recruited several people from Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and despite his direct link to Mubeen. Why the deafening silence? Why that hesitance in actually labeling this as a suspected terror plot? Forget an affirmative terror plot.
Any investigating agency or enforcing agency, especially the state police, even the CBI, they have got a method to investigate a case. They don't go by the TV studios and panelists and even including my opinion. They only go by the merits of the incident and the case. Likewise,
but it is the police,
Tamil Nadu,
Mr. Rajashekharan, it is the police that found some of those components that are used in making primitive bombs from the residence of Mubeen. It's not us who've gone ahead and conducted those searches and have reached that conclusion, sir.
Yes, you should appreciate the police action. They have not hidden anything. They are not working on an agenda as been projected by others.
But the charge coming in is that with this kind of a... With this kind of a soft stand that the Stalin Sarkar has taken, or a delayed stand that it has taken, it's going to only become a breeding ground for terror. Tamil Nadu.
For you and me, please allow me, for you and me, it may be delay in announcing what is happening, what is the investigation. But for the police, they would do it in a meticulous manner. They will investigate the case on merits alone. Let us not insinuate.
Case has been investigated on merits alone, then why is the BJP blowing this out of proportion? Mr. Suryah.
See, this is an accidental terrorist attack. Let us be very clear about it. They had other intentions to do something else. They were crossing some place. There was a speed breaker. The car got damaged. The Jamisha Mubeen came out to check what has happened, and accidentally the blast had occurred. So just imagine what would have happened if their intentions were fulfilled. Is it not an intelligence failure? Why are they hiding the information? Why are they trying to conceal everything? We just hope that the investigation goes in the right way and the case is handed over to the NIA so that we can find out what is the actual intention. The 5 that are made, okay, but the police says there are 5 more arrests. There has been no information about it. Who are they? What are they up to? So everything is very scary. So we just want the police to be more transparent, and the police cannot decide on sensitive cases like this. Obviously, the higher-ups will handle.
Okay, so why not be overcautious in actually looking at the terror angle in the very first place, given the proximity to the temple, given the nature of the blast, and perhaps if the victim in this very case, the man who lost his life to this blast, if his plans did succeed, the consequence of it all could have been extremely dangerous, and that's why those questions are being asked of the DMK government. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll have to leave it at that. It's time for us to head into a quick break for now.